Hey everyone, this is Steve Corian from the PTC community, and I'm bringing you another tutorial. And this one is an assembly I just made up. I'm going to be using it a lot in the next coming tutorials. And today, this is my assembly in an exploded state. So I'm going to show everyone today how to use the explode feature. It's really simple. Up here at the top, there is a let's see if I hover over it, if it'll give me the name. If you click that icon right there, it's the view manager icon. You can set, this is where you're going to go in and make your exploded view. This is what my assembly looks like when it's not exploded. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a new explode. I'm going to hit OK. I'm going to hit Enter. Now you're going to select Properties, and you're going to want to make this box a little bigger. Just drag it down, just because you might have a lot of parts in your assembly that you're going to end up moving around, so you want to be able to see them all. This is where it gets really easy. I'm going to turn on my axes. I'm going to select the Edit Position icon. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click and add an axis. Now, I want all of these parts to be moved along the same axis. So I'm going to use the center axis of these giant caps that I made. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select in this collector, left click, and I'm going to change my collector over here to axes, and I'm going to select this axis right here. Now I'll show you some of the options. If you go into options, you have the choice to move this in increments, or you can just have it move smoothly. I'm just going to move it smoothly. It does help when you're doing a drawing if you can set it to 5 or 10 so everything is nice and even. And then you have explode lines, which these are lines that you can draw from part to part. I tend to show my axes and drag my axes in my drawing, so I usually don't use this feature too much. But I'm going to select my component now because I've selected the axis, and you'll see it brings up this little crosshair down in here. You zoom in on it. Now if you grab along the axis here where it's where you can see it, I can drag it this way, and it highlights the direction you're going to drag it. Okay, so if I drag it, it highlights it red. If I select this one, it'll move it side to side. Okay, but I just wanted to go straight out, so I'm just going to do that. So now it's showing that we have one part right here that has been exploded. So we're going to do these 4 bolts now. So I'm going to use the same thing. I'm going to select the same axis. I'm going to change my collector to axis. And I'm going to select the first bolt, left click, and then I'm going to hold Control, and I'm going to select the remaining bolts, and you'll see that the guide to move the bolts moves at each selection. So now it's on this selection right here. So if I drag this out, it drags all of my fasteners. I hit the green check mark, and it finishes. So I'm going to move the O-ring next. So I'm going to go back up to Edit Position. I'm going to select the collector, go to Axes over here on the right. Then I'm going to select my O-ring, and I'm going to drag it along just like that. So you can see it's easier to see this little thing here. This is what you're grabbing onto to move your parts. Okay, and depending on which one you grab, you can move it out, or you can just choose to move it along the axis. I'm going to hit green on that. I want to finish that up. Okay, so now I have a set of nuts that I want to move as well. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go to my collector, select it, and hit my axis. And you can use the axis of the nuts themselves if you want. But I just choose to use the center because everything is based off the center of this part. I'm just left clicking and holding and dragging those. Not doing anything fancy. So we got the washers now. So I'm going to select my axis. Left click and select, then hold Control to select other components you want to move at the same time. Okay, so now you can see, now I let go of Control and I'm moving those. I'm dragging them with the left click. It's very simple. The good thing about this, now before you get out of this, you're probably wondering, let me turn off my axes here. You're probably wondering, okay, well, how do I save this? Down here where it says list, go select that. Right click on this, on the explode you created, and hit save. Yes, you have to do that every single time. You won't be able to save the part file here. You have to right click on the explode and hit save. Otherwise, it won't save the explode. So if you want to go back in and start moving these parts around, you have to, as long as your explode is turned on, go down to properties, and here's all your parts, and you can select them and it highlights each one, so you can actually edit it by selecting edit position again. Or you can hold shift and select all of those and edit the position of all of them together again. So it's really easy, it's really simple. And when you go into your drawing and you have a view, which I can show you guys that real quick here. Let me turn the explode off. So here's our normal part, and let's explode it. And here's the exploded one that we just created. Okay, so I'm gonna turn this off. I'm gonna save my explode. Close that window. I'm going to save my part. Now I'm going to open a drawing, and I'm just going to show you what I mean by putting this in a drawing really quick. So we're going to go to File, New, Drawing. I'm just going to use an AO size. Okay, so when I want to add a view, you'll see that when I select to put the view on my drawing, that there's names in here. So I don't really care what, I can put it to front, it doesn't matter. I'm going to hit apply just so you can see it here. Okay. Now when I go to View States, I hit Explode Components in View. I select my explode and I hit apply. And there you go. You have, I think it's on lock. Yep, there you go. And now you have your drawing. The view shows up in your drawing. The good thing to do before we leave, before I end this tutorial today, I'm going to show you something that I think you guys will really like. So let's go back to our part. Let's go back to our assembly. Let's say you want this view on your drawing. You can save this as a view, like top, right, front, bottom. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to Orient, you're going to go to New, and you're going to go to, you can just type in whatever name you want. Type in aux explode 1. Okay? And just hit enter. Now, you'll notice I have front, top, left, right, all that. Here you go. These views show up in your drawing, right? So if I hit aux explode 1, this will show up in my drawing now. Let me close this. Let me go to standard orientation. Let me close that. Let me save. I'm going to go back to my window, go back to my drawing here. I'm going to double click on this, and you'll notice in view type now, aux explode 1, the view we created, is now selectable. If I click that and hit apply, now it looks exactly like it did in my model. So when you're making assembly drawings and you want to use exploded views, those are two things I would definitely do. Create your own view, you know, the way you want it oriented in the model in your drawing, and then explode it and save both. Obviously my view display should be no hidden, so it looks more real. And there you go. And if you turn on, you know, like I was saying, there's your center lines that you have in your view. You can show the center lines and drag them through the center of these so that you have your center lines. Now, if you pull the parts apart, that's where you're going to want to use that other feature I was showing you. So we're going to turn on axes. So you can see I can just take this one axis here and drag it through my part and have it like this. You can turn on all the axes for each part you want shown and just drag them through so you know that they're on that center line. And that's the axis of the part, so I'm not sketching it in. So you can actually just select the parts and then select the axis for that part and hit OK and turn it on. So it makes it a lot easier, so you're not selecting 100 different axes. So that's how I would do it. I hope you guys learned something from this tutorial. If you have any questions or comments or would like to see something done or used in a different way, please feel free to comment and rate. And I'll knock that tutorial out. I'm going to do my next tutorial is going to be today, and I'm going to show how to assemble this because the O-ring you have to use a tangent, so basic assembly. So if you want to see that, check out my channel, Gamer Graphics, and hopefully I can teach you some more things. Alright, this is Steve Corian from the PTC community. Thanks and goodbye.